I think you're aware that resources are the most powerful and strong thing that you can use Godot for, especially when you're making games. You always are just gonna have a bunch of resources that basically run everything. So if you're not familiar with them, you don't know how to use them or the potential of them, I'm gonna try and make it clear with this bottle of mustard. I'm using this because I found this picture in my downloads, that's the only reason. And right now I have a very simple project where I just have a bouncing bottle of mustard. And with this, I'm gonna explain everything you need to know about resources. So very quickly, this project right now just has one scene, one main scene here with a single bottle of mustard. And this is the bottle of mustard scene. It just is a node 2D with a sprite. And if you take a look real quick at the script of the mustard bottle, it just has its own class, mustard. It has a speed and a direction. So the direction by default is vector 1, that is pointing downward. Wait, if I look at the camera, it's pointing this direction. So this is a speed, and very simple on the process function call. So every visible frame, you're just gonna check if you're going out of bounds. If so, you just change the direction. That is it. And at the end, there's a very simple formula. The global position is basically the direction that you're pointing towards times the speed that we set, and then the delta, of course, is the time frame that the process call happens in, so it stays consistent. Hope that makes sense. This code, if you ever want to make a bouncing ball around the screen, want to replicate it, you're going to get this effect. But what if we want to scale this? Let's say I want to have 2 bottles of mustard. Well, in a project, I can just very simply add a second bottle. I'll put it here, and they are going to be bouncing around and basically doing the same thing, right? They have the same code running. They're the same scene. They're the same data. But let's say one of them I want to have faster than the other. Now things are getting a bit tricky because they're sharing the same scripts. So what I would have to do is I would have to create another script in Node2D. I will do that anyway. So this will be the main script that we're working in. And I basically need access to these 2 mustard bottles. So I'm just going to add them here as variables real quick. And then I would have to do on a ready call mustard 2 dot, and then the speed is equal to, let's say, 500. Then if I do this, we're gonna see one of them going faster than the other. Okay, so we can like point towards scenes or point towards stuff and modify the variables. But let's say I want to just spawn maybe 3 or 4 mustard 2 bottles, and maybe some of them have 200 speed and other properties. So at that point, it's better to just make 2 different scenes of these. So that would mean I have to make a second mustard bottle, which is kind of stupid. So I would have to duplicate the scene. I'll just do it for instructional purposes. I'm just gonna duplicate the mustard scene that I have here, and I'll call it mustard 2. Here we go. It still shares the same script, so I'm gonna detach the script from mustard 2, and I'm just gonna copy the mustard script as well. I'll duplicate it, call it mustard 2, and add it onto this new mustard that I have. So load. There we go. I have to give this a different class name because I already have the class mustard, so this will be the class mustard 2. I like giving everything a class, it just keeps everything neatly organized. And then the speed of this also to 500. So now I have 2 mustard bottles. They basically just have a similar script but a different variable. And now in my main script where I have access to both of them, I'll just delete the little code that I have here. Run this, and we should see, well, it's still the 2 main mustard bottles. I actually have to delete one of the mustards and put our new mustard 2 scene in. So there we go. Now we actually properly have mustard 1 and mustard 2. Oh, right, I forgot to, I'll just delete these references. Now you will see that one of them goes faster than the other. But we had to make another scene, we had to duplicate a script, and the issue is, let's say I want to add a different functionality. Let's say I want to change what happens. Maybe they don't bounce anymore when they hit the bottom or whatever. I would have to go into both scripts and both scenes to change that, which is stupid. You don't want to go to every single scene that shares code. You don't want to be reusing code for that purpose. If you make a change somewhere, you would have to make it everywhere. Now, how do we improve this? Well, this is where resources come in. I think you saw this coming. But basically, we can just pack this in the script of the mustard bottle. I will delete the mustard 2 again from all places, including the script, because it's a really dumb idea. Never do this. And instead we're just gonna have our mustard bottle, which bounces around. That is the main thing that the mustard bottle does. It's built to bounce around. But these things are gonna be variable. These will be able to change depending on the scene that I want to instantiate. So I'll very simply just delete these, and I'm gonna create a new variable, which is gonna be mustard resource. Actually, I'm gonna use snake typing. It's always good to stick with one way that you're gonna go about doing your project. And variables I always do like this, which is snake case. Snake case. I said snake typing, yeah. Which will be mustard resource. So you can type it as well as the class name you're gonna give it, which right now is gonna be null. So I'll set it as null, and more importantly, I'll set it as an export variable. So what I did is I basically changed all of the variables that I have, and instead I'm just going to point towards a resource. Doesn't exist yet, so the game is kind of mad at me. So let's make it. In my project, we just create a new script, which I'll call mustard resource, and instead of node, it can inherit resource create. So this is a script now that is going to be shared with all the mustard bottles as well. But the powerful thing is you can duplicate it way easier than having to duplicate scripts and all this sort of stuff. So for example, we want the speed and the direction still. So I'm going to make an export variable. If I could type export variable speed, which is a float of, let's say 500. Or no, I think I had 300s. And then export variable direction, which is a vector2, and I'll use vector2 1. This seems basic. We just pack both of our variables in a resource, and I use export. If you're unfamiliar with export, it just means that it shows up in the inspector, and it saves it basically if you make changes to it. So that'll become clear in a second. But if I go to mustard now, it says here direction.x is equal to -1, but a direction doesn't exist yet. So I'm gonna do mustard resource.direction equals x, and you can see the red line disappearing because our mustard resource now holds this variable that we're working with. So we're substituting the hard-coded variable for a variable that we put in our resource, mustard resource. Now the script is still going to work exactly the same as before, but we need to give it the resource still. So global position is equal to mustard resource, and also mustard speed, mustard resource.speed. We need to give it the resource. Currently it has nothing. So we're gonna create our very first resource, which is right-clicking in the file system here, and you see instead of making a script or a scene, you can create this resource that we just made. I cannot find Mr. Resource. Did I forget? I forgot to do the class name. Mustard resource. There. So now it knows we are looking for a mustard resource. So we create a resource. And now if you look for mustard, there it is, our mustard resource, which has the script that we made, which is just the two variables, create, and I'll call this mustard1. You'll see it show up in the inspector and in the file system, and if you double click, because we made export variables, they show up in the inspector. So you can see on the right here, it shows me the speed and the direction, which is the default ones. So now if we look in the inspector at our mustard scene, you see mustard wants a mustard resource, and now we can go in the file system and we find our mustard1 resource. You can also drag it from the file system into here. So now, very simply put, we just made a little data container which holds the variables now. So you might ask yourself, okay, we basically did exactly the same thing as before, right? We just basically moved the variables somewhere else. So what is the benefit of this exactly? Let me show you. We can now create a new resource in the file system, which is going to be a mustard resource as well. But this one I will call mustard2. And if we double click it, because these are export variables, I can just change the speed to 500. And let's say I want it moving in the opposite direction at the start. So we have this resource now, this data, which is just these two variables that are changed. So now I can simply, in our main scene, create a new mustard scene, which is the same one as before. We don't need to duplicate any scripts. We don't need to create a new scene, anything like that. Here is our second mustard. And in here, we can just put our mustard2. So I'm just going to take it, mustard2 here, put it into this mustard resource, and now both of them are gonna have different stats. If you click on it and unfold it, you can see it in the inspector. And if I run this, 2 scenes, same code, different effects by simply packaging the data. So that is in general what a resource is, how it's used. But I'm going to go one step further for you and show you what else you can do with this, because let's say you do want both of them to have different functionality. Let's say one of them you want to change color every time it hits a side, another one you want to slow down every time it hits one of the sides. Those are 2 completely different effects. Do I have to make different scripts for that? How does that work? So this is a very simple mustard resource that just holds values, but we can create a different resource which is gonna be the functionality of the mustard bottle. So I'll create a script. It will once again inherit resource, and I'll call it mustard functionality. Also, I realized I've been typing mustard and mustard with E and A across the project, and I didn't notice. I'm pretty sure you guys are noticing. This is insane. Mustard is with an A, right? So I'll have to change my typing here to just be consistent. So we're creating a new resource that I'm gonna call the mustard functionality. It's a pretty long name. There's probably a better shorter name for it, but we're gonna give this a function which I just call action. Here's a different concept we're gonna be using, which is abstraction. So every mustard functionality has an action, and abstraction, in case you don't know, I hope I'm not moving too fast, is a way to create a big parent scene that tells you, hey, this is what all the child scene should do. So all the mustard functionalities should have an action function. So what I'm gonna do here, I'll just remove the colon at the end, and I will add abstracts. And then the class itself, I'm also gonna abstract. So add abstract. That's all you need to do. And now this class is just telling you the rules of mustard functionality. What does that mean, you might ask? Well, let's create our 2 different mustard functionalities that are going to follow these rules. So I'm going to create a new script. Again, this will inherit resource, but this time it's actually going to inherit the mustard functionality resource. So I can already type here mustard functionality, and I will just call this func1. I'm just going to shorthand it. But basically, we are inheriting a resource, but not any resource. We are inheriting our mustard functionality resource, which means the editor is mad at me now because there is no action method yet. So we need to do function action, and then they're going to be happy because they know that I followed the rules. I put the action in here. So let's make our first action. You can give this a class name as well. I won't. I mean, actually, I should, just for clarity's sake. So I'll give this class name color change. Can be whatever you want, the color change. So every time a bounce happens, I need to change the color of the object. Now, how I'll do this is in the action function, I need to pass in my object. So I'll actually just in the abstraction set, hey, what is the mustard bottle that I'm changing? So I'll do bottle, which is a node 2D that I'm gonna pass in the action. So our action here also wants a bottle, node 2D, and then it's simply just gonna do bottle.modulate, which changes the color, is equal to color, and this needs to be random. So what I'm gonna do is I'll just do a rand float in range, which just means it's gonna take a random float number between a range that I set, which will be 0, 0, and 0.1. And then all I do is I copy this 2 times, and now we're gonna get a random color assigned to our bottle. Let me just pretty this a bit. And there we go. We have our first action. Let's make a second one. For this, I'm just actually gonna copy the script. I'll call this one functionality 2, which is also a mustard functionality, but let me open it. I'm gonna change the name to speed change because we're changing the speed. And now we can do something really cool as well. So instead of changing the color, to get access to the speed variable, right? The speed at which it goes, this is part of a mustard resource, the other resource that we're just assigning the 2 variables to. So we need to get hold of that. Now our bottle is not just any node 2D, it is actually a mustard class. So we can see our node 2D, it's called mustard. So one thing I could do to optimize the script is even further is in our functionality, instead of just passing a node 2D, we know we're passing in mustard, right? I hope I'm not jumping around too much, that you can still follow what's happening, but instead of just having any node 2D, I want the inspector to know, or the editor to know, that we are working with mustard. So let me change that here as well. That means that the bottle also has the mustard resource variable. If you look at our mustard, it has the mustard resource that we pass in with the speed and the direction. So we can take our resource, change the speed, and I will do minus, let's do 100, let's be dramatic. And that's it. We now have a second action where it takes our mustard resource that has the speed and modifies it. And now we need to add that in here. So I'll do another export variable next to our main mustard resource, which is called mustard functionality, of course, which is a mustard functionality. And if we look now in the inspector of our mustard bottle, we have mustard functionality. Awesome. And we have two mustard functionalities that we can add in. So I'm just going to create them in here as well. We have our color change, which is a mustard functionality, so I'll call it func1. And I'm going to create another resource that we just made, speed change. There we go. Func2. So we go back into our main scene with our two mustard bottles. Let me set them up again. The first mustard bottle has mustard1 as the main resource, holding 300 speed and the same direction. Then if we look at the mustard functionality, we give it functionality 1, which just has the action to perform when it hits the side. Look at mustard bottle 2, we do the same thing once again. We add our mustard 2 resource, which if you click on it, we see the speed and the direction are changed because we changed that, remember? And then we just add in functionality 2 in here. So there we go. They now both have their own functionality. They have the same resource, but with different export values, yeah. And now I just need to make it work because the action does nothing yet. So very simple. What I'm gonna do is every time it bounces, I'll just call mustard functionality dot action. All of them have to have it, and I just pass in self, the bottle. I'll just put that everywhere. There we go. And now let's see if it works. One of them changes color, one of them slows down. It works. We have two different functionalities now passed in the mustard bottles. And you might ask yourself, didn't we just do the same with making two different scripts? Yes, but you can make multiple variations of these. So you can have like 10 mustard bottles that share this. You can put this in an export variable as well. So the speed decrease of a bottle can be changed. You can change the color that something changes into. So in general, I would always recommend, if you have objects or scenes that behave similarly but have different effects or different properties, try and extract it into different resources, and then you can basically build it up like Lego, and then it literally just becomes a game of puzzling all of the resources in together, and they should function as so. And that is the main way you're going to be building a lot of data. This can be loaded anywhere, so I made a little video on dynamic loading if you want to load in resources. I hope you understand what export variables are, what the power of them are. And now you see how you can load all of this in at runtime, and you can have multiple instances behave similarly but with different effects. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.